Welcome to the View from the 8th, the Leeds version of the Allsop Prop Chat. Today, Ceara and I are interviewing Nathan Spencer, the director of UKREiiF. Ceara and I are finding out about council speed dating, diversity at UKREiiF, the economic impact, youth ticket, and also we put to Nathan where he's planning to go after Leeds next year. Welcome, Nathan. REiiF. What does it stand for?
So UKREiiF is the UK's real estate investment and infrastructure forum. We wanted something snappy that you could say quickly. So UKREiiF, we came up with one initially which was typic, and we had the registration done, copyright done, we had logo done, and then we found out it was a tropical disease, so we had to change and we've ended up with UKREiiF. Yeah, so that's where we're at.
And how many years have you been going now?
So this is the third event that we've got coming up in May 2024. So the business itself has been going for 15 years.
Has it?
Small events, sort of 200, 300 people, sort of maximum. I came in maybe about 5 years or so ago, just before COVID. And then, this took about 2 years to get off the ground, in fairness, before the first event. So it's been a long time coming, but when we did the first one, it was great. And then obviously we've gone from sort of bigger to bigger each year at the moment.
It's fair, I was going to say, it's fair to say it has absolutely rocketed. I think I saw on your website 4,000 delegates in 22, 23 was 6, and the prediction for this year is 12,000.
Yes, we've just gone over 12 last week, so we'll be over 12,000 sort of official attendees, and then we find a lot of people come to what we call the fringe, so they'll still come to the city and just enjoy the stuff on the outskirts rather than coming into the event. But
what's the fringe then? Is that part of the conferences, or
a lot of it is. So we try to encourage people to be doing fringe activity on mornings and evenings.
Right.
So that might be morning runs, yoga classes. Some of it's content driven, sort of breakfast briefings. And then it says we've got some, I think Adolf or Goddard are doing a self-defense class in the morning. It's really random, a mixture of stuff that's happening. And then that's the same in the evening. So you have walking tours across the city, darts evenings, comedy nights, rock festival with people sort of within the industry, on bass, guitar, doing the singing. So there's a real random mixture of things to do. So there's the main event, which means that everyone is sort of open and easy to find, but then actually on the evenings and the mornings, it opens up a little bit more and lets even more people get involved.
We definitely want to get into some of those, what we'd call maybe the weird and wonderful later, but just sort of back to the initial question as well. The letters, you've told us what it stands for. What does it actually stand for you? What is REiiF about?
Yeah, so it's all about trying to make sure that towns, cities, regions are finding investment effectively. So that was a starting point. We looked at across the UK and including across the international shores, what events are out there to bring investment into the UK in the built environment, and we found actually there probably wasn't anything that worked. MIPIN has always been the hub for that type of discussion, but I think from our side we saw that actually that was leaving behind some towns, some regions, some cities which weren't able to go there. And actually it's a real hub for developers and investors in the UK domestic market that just was never connected to the opportunities. So it's all for us about trying to connect opportunities to the people who can bring those forward in a really sort of sustainable and community first way. I think that's where the core values are kind of lying for us. It wasn't about let's find investment to transform communities. It was all about actually transform them, but doing it in the right way. So actually the right people are meeting the right people, and actually the message and the values that we put forward tends to bring the right mix of clients into a room, which has been great.
Linking people seems to be the key, putting them together, networking.
Yeah.
We're 13 days out now, and you must be just about the busiest man in Yorkshire. Ceara, you've had your eye on a few things. I know a running event was one of them.
Yes, I think there was a 5K. Well, I think there's numerous morning sessions you can go to. But no, there's lots. I came across workshops, conferences, and sort of round tables. An interesting one was it was about the AI round table, which is obviously something quite significant, which was interesting.
You've seen quite a bit of that this year, AI.
Yeah, we've seen a bit more of an adoption. I think because we're still a growing business or a growing event, we're finding that there's quite a lot of people coming into the kind of event still to go, actually, there's a huge scope for X, Y, or Z. Technology has been huge. So there's the UK Property or PropTech Association this year has a designated space at the event, and they're bringing some of their partners in with them.
And sorry, are you highlighting that because it didn't have it previously? Maybe?
Yeah, it's the first year it's happened. We always see tech speaking to tech. You know, if you go to a lot of these people are always at prop tech events. And you kind of look at it going, yeah, but the clients, the ones that you want to be convincing to move things forward, are events similar to UKREiiF. So this year we've seen them take a space which has been a real good enabler. And so that's something that we've seeded alongside the UK PropTech Association. We've seeded something called The Pitch, which is where we encouraged small SME startups, particularly with a focus on tech, to send us their ideas through. And if they did so, we would create or choose 6 on a short list and do a Dragon's Den style makeup at the event where they pitch those ideas. And we've selected the 6 on a short list. They, off the back of that, get free tickets and free exhibition space. So we're seeding little things in, knowing that we want tech as a growth space. And then off the back of that...
Sorry to jump in, Nathan, that because it really interests me. I'm wondering, is there any... you probably can't give too much away, but is there anything that's caught your eye there? We're talking prop tech, respect or AI, and is there any ideas in there that you're thinking, this could really change the way, I don't know, we market properties, or we work, or we value things, or I'm in the residential investment world myself, Ceara, commercial valuer.
Yeah.
Is there anything you've seen in there that's caught your eye?
There's a couple around sustainability, and actually there's a lot of tools out there, but something that's unique and different. There's a couple of those in there. And then onto the topic of AI, I don't think our industry has adopted it particularly well at the moment, and there's so much growth in it. So there's a couple of AI tools out there within that kind of makeup, which I think could be incredibly useful for the industry to kind of go behind. So there's that sort of area for us is a big growth area, but we're seeing that across numerous ones, whether it be AI being a focus. We've also tried to outreach to a lot more different sectors, whether it be INL, whether it be retail and high streets. We're trying to get a much wider catchment area of the real estate built environment industry, because more people with different ideas, bringing them together across different sectors is only going to be useful for what the future of our built environment looks like.
It's diverse, I think, looking, because I had just a quick look as well this morning, what sort of conferences are on, and it is diverse. You've got sustainability, and how many speakers do you actually have?
There's a lot. I think there's about 1,000 in total.
Right, okay.
We don't run all the stages, so we run 3 of the stages. And
out of
about 40, what we call activation zones.
Right.
So not all of them are stages, some of them are roundtable rooms, workshop, hackathon rooms, but we run about 3 of them, and then our partners take space. So cities and regions will take a space for 3 days that they and their partners will use. And then clients like Legal & General, Aldi, the supermarket, British Land, they all take their own space as well and run 3 days of content from them.
And sorry, we should have said it, Leeds Dock.
Yes.
So this is the 3rd year down there as well. And,
yes.
And so 40 stages. All in Leeds Dock?
It's grown massively. So we've added another 19 pavilions this year, which are kind of outdoor pavilion space. We've had to do some construction work to flatten certain bits of land.
Which is your bank holiday weekend.
Yes, exactly. And everyone since it started as well. So we've done a lot of work to grow the site, but then we're effectively just taking more and more of the area. So this year we have 2 yoga studios, we have a co-working space, we have 3 companies' offices, which they've working with them. They've allowed us them to move out and us to move in for the 3 days. So we're doing a lot of working, and it's all about those relationships. We've built relationships with the site, and if it was just a big event coming to the city and not really understanding the messaging behind it, they'd probably switch off. But we do a lot of talk around sustainability, social value, the economic value that we're bringing to Leeds, and the local businesses and the community around that area are all supportive of it.
Because you've got pillars, haven't you? Do you call them pillars?
Yeah.
How many pillars did you have?
We've got 4 key pillars for the business.
And remind us what those 4 are.
Yeah, so the first one is sustainability and try to reach net zero, social value and social impact, inclusive investment, so not just try to attract the capital, but the right type of capital. And then the future of real estate, which ties really into to all of those, but also links into that tech side a little bit more.
I think you mentioned there was free tickets sort of flying around. I think, was that for people under 25, or was it sort of to drive the younger people to REiiF? Yeah,
it's a few different things. So we understand that our industry is not the most diverse, and actually the event that we host is very likely to attract primarily the most senior people within the industry, and percentage-wise they'll be predominantly white men. So what we've had to do is have a lot of partnerships with D&I groups. So we work with the Black Women's in Real Estate Network, Women in Property, Freehold LGBT, the Association for Muslim Surveyors. We work with quite a lot of those organisations, and we, not going to say we throw loads of free tickets at them, but we work in a partnership to look at, well, how can we make sure that you're represented and your community is represented at UKREiiF. For every 5 tickets purchased, we offer a complimentary under 25 ticket for businesses to utilise. We work with organisations who bring, I think there's a couple which are bringing coachfuls of college, university students to the event. And I suppose what we try to do more is we don't just want to offer a couple of tickets and go, oh, please come to the event because you're young. We try to work with people who'll bring something forward for us. So there's an organisation called Constructive Futures who I'm meeting next week to do a tour before they come down to the event. And they're bringing about 40 young children down to the event, and they've got a real plan around what they're doing, showcasing different aspects of the industry. Another organisation is coming to have hands-on experience with architects, developers, the council, the combined authority, to understand how we can implement mass transit in West Yorkshire, giving their feedback. So we're trying to do more than just, come to the event and look at it. We're trying to really
engage
embed, because without them, we haven't got society represented at the event. It's mainly just the percentages of what we're used to in the industry.
Yeah, I think it works well with Allsop, especially because we've got a lot of young surveyors and they've benefited from the free tickets under the 25. So a lot of them will be attending. And we've also got a few people from our London office coming up as well. No, I think they're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for the sort of the younger generation to go. You mentioned MIPIM before. We certainly don't want to throw shade, but it's not that accessible for the younger generation. It's not, in terms of expense alone, but, and travel and all that kind of thing. So it's great to see REiiF stand out. I
think after COVID as well, a lot of young people struggled trying to get invitations to events like this, and it's nice to see.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, MIPIM are doing quite a lot from what I see, particularly, but, as long as they activate that local market in and around where they are, because, we work with a lot of organisations that are national, but at the same time, if you're going to bring coachfuls of kind of university students, they need to be, accessible to them. So, yes, we benefit from the fact that it's local to quite a lot. I mean, even London's just a 2-hour coach or 2-hour train journey away. Yeah, we do massively benefit from that, but I think at the same time it's because we put it at the core of what we do, and that's therefore the reason why it's been successful, and it's good to see other events moving towards that. I'm not saying that we're the only ones doing it, but we've seen quite a lot of our, whether we call competitors or those working in the industry, following a similar suit all of a sudden, and actually, it's good to see that others are moving in that direction.
Listen, with the numbers you're getting year on year, you're obviously doing something right. I was sorry, Keir, I was going to ask, what are you attending? You must be. There's a fair old programme there which I've seen, and don't want to put you on the spot too much.
I think there's paddleboarding on one of them that I came across.
Free ground, myself, I'm a little bit more. I have to be a bit more fluid.
Of course.
Thankfully, the third year, I've now found that where I had a really kind of intense 3 days when I was there during year one, there's a team now that just deliver it, and actually I can be a little bit more sort of moving around a little bit. So I'll mainly just be going into places and saying hi to people and
you can network finally and probably hopefully enjoy it.
Exactly, and most of these people, there's a lot of people travelling from Scotland, Belfast, London, the Southwest, Cornwall. I only see these people once a year, potentially 2 times a year if I go to see them. So a lot of it for me is what everyone else is there for. It's that relationship build. It's a quick hello. It's a quick coffee with people. So, outside of that, on an evening, there's probably a few things that I've sort of circled in the diary to do.
Should be doing a fair few steps that week.
I was going to say, do you get any international?
We do. So we've got on the Monday evening, it's kind of a closed event with UK government, but we've got a delegation from Asia coming over, and we're hosting them on the Monday night, and then obviously during the week we're looking after them at UKREiiF. Connecting them to the right people. I'm hosting an investor breakfast on the morning of Tuesday where we effectively have the minister and the international delegates alongside some from the UK. We then strategically work with others. So apart from working with UK government on trying to make sure that there's a large delegation of international guests coming over, we've also got what we call sort of public sector from other countries coming over. So the mayor of Kharkiv's coming over. He's coming to meet Alex Sabel, who's an MP local to us. He's the chair of an APPG for Net Zero, which is where our interest comes in from an event perspective. But he also heads up the Friends of Ukraine, so he's coming over to work with the mayor and bring a little delegation over. We've got New York coming over because we're potentially looking at a US equivalent to UKREiiF, which is on the cards. Iceland have got a delegation of 20, Lille, South Africa. Yeah, there's a real mixture. They're more public sector. The investor developer market, there is a lot more delegates coming over this year from those markets, or their London equivalents coming up if they have a head of UK.
So, council speed dating, I saw on there.
Yes.
Explain that one.
Yeah, so we understood that not all local authorities are going to be able to pay for space at the event and do X, Y, Z. And I think we also understood that the majority of them have sort of their own programme to run. So what we've done is we've given a space for a couple of days, and we will select a region. So London, we'll put London councils around the room. We'll invite their development partners, their strategic landowners, and then we invite investors and end users to come into the room as well. So from our end, that's an hour of what is speed networking, and we'll put them all in a room, people who can effectively bring projects forward without any background noise from anybody else. And yeah, just to get that conversation started, I suppose. And we've had some real good success stories from that. So it's helped bring forward a partnership with Torbay Council, which has delivered a £100 million project. A council in the West Midlands, there's one in the Northwest as well. Both of them have come to us and said, yeah, from what you've been doing, it's helped us bring these projects forward. So
when we spoke to you last time, Nathan, you mentioned some success stories and you put it out on LinkedIn. We just wanted to sort of discuss what did people put out there, what sort of success stories were there.
Yes.
That you can reveal.
It prompts me to go back and look now, because we start to capture at the registration point of people coming back. Have you had any good success stories? So from a small one was a remediation business won a £1.1 million contract from having a beer in a pub with someone, all the way to the Torbay deal, which is a £100 million project, which we have effectively taken a development partners and investment partners down to Torbay, and then off the back of that they've selected their preferred partners to work with to bring that project forward. So what we try to do is not just sort of have a light touch on things, we try to follow things through as well. But there was loads of really positives on there. A large new residential project in the Northwest has come forward. We had people who'd won contracts off the back of it. So it's working. What we're finding, it's working for the clients. You know, it's helping local authorities, developers, investors find opportunities. But at the same time, it's helping the supply chain as well further down, whether it be architects, whether it be contractors, agents. It's helping them find opportunities as well. So it's working across the board, which is, ideally what you need, which is why people at the moment are coming back.
So councils, governments, landlords, investors, international governments.
What advice would you give to people attending the event to maximise their experience and how they can make these meaningful connections?
Yeah, I would certainly say be prepared. It's the same with all of these events, and having been to many of them myself, I find that so many people there are just unprepared for it.
Be prepared to drink a lot of coffee.
Well, 100%, yeah.
Or beer.
In fairness, those are really good, useful tips. There's things like battery chargers and make sure you have comfortable shoes and all of those things. There's a lot of tips that you'll find on websites about events like ours, because it is 3 days of you're there at 7, you're there until 10 at night. It is long days. But if you're prepared, you can find where to go. So, the exhibition hall and the pavilions, they have clients sort of everywhere. So if you're interested in the West Midlands, go to the West Midlands Pavilion, and you'll find in there the councils and the investors and the developers, as well as a wider network that you're there to see. My main thing is put yourself in the position of what would your target clients be doing. And this is why I kind of mentioned earlier about where I see a lot of prop tech meeting prop tech, and actually there's not enough actual prop tech meeting clients. Put yourselves where they'll be. It's very unlikely that your client will be at something which they're not going to find value from. So find those things, get your head in their head and think, right, where do I go? Where do I position myself? But don't overload your diary. There's a lot of people there. You'll bump into people. Your diary will go to pot.
Comfortable shoes.
Comfy shoes, absolutely. I always buy new shoes and regret it instantly. So.
Is the water taxi running this year again?
Water taxis running. I think we've got 2 of them running. We've got bikes this year that you can get on and bike down to the venue. There's obviously a walking route. There's shuttle buses. There's a bit of everything, because it is a 10-minute walk from the city centre, which is needed to try to make sure that it's a solo event and doesn't live too much with, you know, bars and restaurants on the side, but at the same time the city is then incredibly busy on the evening.
Well, listen, you know, I know you couldn't get a hotel last year, so you certainly couldn't get a hotel room, and I know we had colleagues in Airbnbs outside the city centre, which seemed to work quite well.
Yeah.
And there's a well-known pizza chain down on Leeds Dock, which you couldn't get anywhere near last year, which I'm sure they probably have their busiest few days every single year down there, so I'm sure they're delighted to have you. I saw on LinkedIn that you've measured the economic impact of the previous years. First of all, how? And secondly, I assume you're doing that again this year.
Yes, we are. So we've measured it for 3 years now. We work with an organisation who are experts within the measurement of it. So the first year we generated about 5 million-ish in local economic impact. Last year was 12 million. This year we're hoping for an even bigger number. And it's all around, you know, it feeds into our values around sustainability, procuring locally, social value. So we work quite a lot, and we've set up what we call Team Leeds, which is a task force with public and private sector, which looks at how can we make sure that more money is being spent in the city whilst UKREiiF is ongoing. Just little touch points, like actually if you're not going to have 12,000 people come onto site to buy a coffee because you're not going to have the queues to deal with that, the speed to get the coffee out. So, you know, having little pop-ups on route down enables more to come on the way down to the city. But then we're also looking at how do we make people come back to Leeds more frequently as well, showcasing things throughout the year of what Leeds is about, what West Yorkshire is about, showcasing culture. So this year we're working with MEPC and Leeds City Council and having activation spots where there's music and culture being shown, just to show more. So it's all around not just the economic activity of the 3 days, but we're trying to get more economic activity throughout the whole year within Leeds by showcasing it during UKREiiF. So yeah, we measure that, and then we work with Loop to measure social value as well, which is another big one for us. So I think it's about 3-4 million of social value generated so far. So really trying to find our values, not just say there are values, but properly measure and increase them each year.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. So 5 million a few years ago, how do you measure that, and what does that 5 million look like?
Yeah, so it goes on that. There's lots of different things. There's some of the economic spend, which is us spending with local partners, and it costs us a lot of money to build the site and to deliver it.
Point being that you're not flying a lot of stuff in or driving a lot of stuff in, but, you know, mostly it's locally and you know.
Exactly,
support.
yeah. And if we move this event to another location, that's lost revenue for Leeds and the local businesses. There's a bit on trickle-down flow in terms of if you spend, you know, money on X, then actually those staff that you've recruited for the week will then spend more money in the region and more money, etc. So it's a report that we do, but there's, I think, Arup head up, and then underneath it there's lots of detail behind that report where they use agreed calculations and metrics through, whether it be Visit England or other organisations that are out there. So they use different things for different bits of what we do. Obviously, you working with Visit Leeds to understand the hotel occupancy. This year that has to extend further to the West Yorkshire region and even North Yorkshire, with York being close by. So yeah, quite a lot of detail that goes into it. Thankfully, that's not me doing it. Thankfully, that's one of our partners doing it for us.
So you mentioned continued growth in that respect, and also you've mentioned New York being a potential future destination alongside this one. Leeds is confirmed for next year, right?
Leeds is confirmed for 25.
And I suspect you probably will have to confirm soon the one after that, or you've got a big smile on your face. You're a Yorkshire boy, aren't you? So I'm sure you'd like it to be here. Any bits of information for the future?
I'd love to give an exclusive. It's 2025, and the foreseeable is the official line from our end. We love it being in Leeds. It works great. I think there's been a real good build on a relationship year after year with Leeds City Council and West Yorkshire Combat Authority. I'm from Yorkshire, so it's easier to just turn up to work rather than go elsewhere. But at the same time, yeah, we have explored it. We've decided for 25 and the foreseeable for Leeds. But yeah, never say never.
Great. Well, that was a really good insight, Nathan. Thank you. Ceara and I are very grateful for your time. Where can we see information on UKREiiF this year?
Yeah, drop into the website, www.ukreif.com. That is the best place. Everything's on there. Programme, details of the event, and details of next year's as well when it comes around.
Perfect. And if you want to reach Ceara, it's Ceara.Duggan at allsop.co.uk and Jack.Robson at allsop.co.uk. Thank you for listening.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.